Again, this is PK Young. I greet you all, and I'm here to continue providing you with details on our strategic goals 5, 6, and 7. Hopefully, if we have more time, we'll get to strategic goal number 8. But in this video, I'm going to be giving you details as to what we intend to do with those particular strategic goals as we look forward to the elections that are coming up in Minnesota, June between for the June convention, 16 to the 19th. And I hope that as you've been watching our discussion on the other strategic goals, you are getting questions ready for us. You can ask us during the convention. So we've discussed goal number 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to continue with goal number 5. What is goal number 5 talking about? It says our goal is to improve on members' engagement in running AFORCOM USA activities. So sometimes people go late to events during the organization because they feel like it's some other person's organization. They are not feeling engaged. They don't feel that they are part of it. And that's what causes some of the problems that we face within the organization. So we want people to feel belonging. And one of the ways is to actually leverage the expertise of AFORCOM USA members. We have people that are doing great things around the world, and other communities are making good use of them. Why can't we make use of our own? Why can't we support each other? Why should our women not support other women? Why should we not support us ourselves? That has been a big problem, and I think we can make use of the resources that we have to do other things and even help other communities after rescuing our own community. So I think we are going to do this. We're going to achieve this goal by restructuring existing committees and to create some new ones based on what they can do. We are going to create some task forces that can actually work on some things that are bothering our organization, like for instance, conventions hosting. And we also think that once people come into these different roles through the committees, they feel involved, they feel like they're part of it, they feel like their voices are being heard, they feel like their skills are being put to use. I think it's going to be more engaging. So we are going to look at grant applications. We shouldn't be scared as an organization to actually pay experts to look for money for us from other non-for-profit organizations. We shall review our fundraiser initiatives, which is going to be one of the roles of the projects committee. And then most importantly, one of the most important committees that we're going to have is the IT committee. So think about our website. We shall digitalize our services. There's no reason why you cannot go online and maybe pay your annual dues, pay your convention dues just virtually, by going to a website. We are going to run a lot of virtual initiatives on our WhatsApp forum. We can do, like I just mentioned, electronic payments. We can do things like establish a membership database on our website. We can establish an entrepreneur database on our website. So you go to our website, you can click and you see all the businesses that are owned by our members. And you can choose to reach out to them. You can choose to promote them. So there is a lot that we can do. We cannot keep running our organization. I mean, those that came before us, our previous leaders did an amazing job, but that was also based on the resources that they had at the time. Now with the availability of all kinds of technology, I mean, we have WhatsApp now that we never used to have. We have Facebook, and a lot of people can use smartphones that they never used to have. So I think we should be able to leverage on these things and to do things that can actually match today's world, that we can follow current trends without diluting our culture. So we are also going to have something like a cultural committee, and they will be in charge of harmonizing our cultural activities and programming. They will be the ones to decide, okay, do we have enough male culture stuff? Do we have some female culture stuff? Do we have things for the children? And then they come up with a program for us that actually makes sense and is equitable, that we can all align with. So like I said, we can have people who write grants for us. We have people that will work on our convention programming and make it such that hosting is not a burden. It is actually something that chapters will enjoy to do under the Team PK administration. So I also noticed that our constitution lacks a lot of things, and a lot of things have actually changed. So much has added to our organization that we think our constitution needs a little bit of an adjustment. So I went to the constitution hoping that I could see some stuff like, okay, what's our vision, what's our mission statement, and some of those things were not there, and not that is necessarily required. We've been able to set a vision for our administration, and that could eventually be adopted. We've been able to set a mission for Team PK that we think could also be adopted by the organization. And those are good things. We should do things professionally in today's Android generation. And I think we can use the tools that we have at our disposal to do better for ourselves and for COM. So we are going to adjust the organs of this organization to accommodate the current trends. And think about it. When this organization started, nobody knew about Comnamites, but Comnamites came up. So where are they placed in our constitution? So Team PK will be proposing a space for them and how we are going to categorize them in our constitution. We think we're going to call them e-chapters for lack of a better name. So if you guys, if anybody out there has a good name, we'll be willing to listen to that. And we will we'll make the office of the ombudsman to be much more complete. We are going to look at the officeman, because the way our 4Com USA is structured is that we have the executive branch, which is like maybe Biden's administration, the people in his office. And then we have the judiciary, that's the office of the ombudsman. That's completely independent of the national executive. And then we have the chapters, which are like the states. And then we have the General Assembly, which can be like the Congress or the Senate. So we can look at things like that and know that the Judiciary Department is independent of the executive. And so the position of the ombudsman is not part of the national executive. We know that. But then I would like a situation, Team PK would like a situation where the office of the ombudsman has representatives from all the chapters, so that when decisions based on problems that come to that office, when decisions are taken, it's not just the idea of one person called the ombudsman or the ombudswoman. It will be that everyone representing those chapters have actually had their own contribution, and then they arrive at one conclusion. So it's nice to be making a decision about a problem that arose from Chicago chapter when Chicago actually has a representative sitting there, and that makes it easier. And I think that office also deserves a budget in case they need to travel, in case the ombudswoman or the ombudsman needs to travel. So those are all things that we can discuss and straighten up for our organization. I also think that we should not become members of the organization just when it is around the convention. I think that the collection of annual dues, which brings benefits of $5,000, that's like life insurance benefit of $5,000 when you pay your $100 annual dues, and then you qualify to apply for scholarships. Those are some of the benefits that are there right now. We are going to add more benefits to that, and that will include applying for grants from the organization. You have to be a member in good standing. There will be so many other things that I cannot discuss right now. But it's nice that we have this annual dues collected between January 1st and March 31st as the deadline. That way we know who is a member of this organization. We don't have to wait for the convention before we start trying to do that. Then what happens between January and June? It's like people are not members, and if something were to happen, then we start wondering, okay, you didn't pay your annual dues, but nobody really put that pressure on you between a certain space of time for you to know it's very important. So these are things that we can discuss, and I'm not saying this is the most effective way of doing it. I want to throw out the ideas. Team PK wants to work on those. If you have ideas, bring them out. We are willing to listen. We are going to be able to understand everything that we're going to understand everything amongst ourselves, and then be able to share. So the organs. So first of all, we have the General Assembly, and then we have the Office of the Ombudsman. Now, I really think that the Office of the Ombudsman should have representatives from, we have representatives from chapters, virtual groups, and if we end up deciding to include cultural groups, then that's fine, like the other cultural groups that are going to be coming up right now. And then the projects committee will be there, IT and all that. But the most important thing that I think we should start thinking about will be the e-chapters, and that's where COMNA might fall. And maybe we're going to have COM women, that they will fall under the e-chapters. And the e-chapters here is for lack of a better name. So please start thinking, if we eventually win, this is the direction that we're going to be going. So it's very important that we are willing to participate in the process. Now, the other thing, one second here. Yeah, so the strategic pillar number 7, our intention is to foster collaboration and cordial relationships. How are we going to do this? We have to collaborate with cultural organizations around the world. So fortunately, I have excellent relationships with all the cultural groups around the world and their leaders. I can pretty much pick up my phone and talk to anyone in China, Dubai, or all the title holders over there, UK, because Abalanto has actually brought us together. We are united as come all over the world in that forum. And I've been one of the people that are coordinating the project, I've come to know a lot of people, and we can actually use this to our advantage. There are projects that we can do as COM people all over the entire world. And that even includes the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the return of Qualcomm. We are going to get people involved. So, and that's why voting for Team PK, you have to put all those different things into consideration. Who is uniquely placed to be able to connect with everyone else? And I think I already have this experience having worked with Abalanto, putting people together that bought the Fun of Comms car. I was one of the coordinators. Almost everyone on that list of 44 people can testify that I gave them a call. And it's very important that we work together. And it's very important that we identify projects together and execute them and give feedback to everyone. So we can have collaborations even with the Bali people. We can have collaborations with the South people. All of that, we can make friends and learn from each other. So I think collaboration with Cognomites, how they've done some of their projects, we're going to learn from that, and then collaborate, make sure that the chapters are cohesive. Inter-chapter relationships will be very, very encouraged under our administration, and we can instill a mentorship culture within the organization by publicly celebrating and uplifting our successful members. It is very, very important in terms of inspiring others. And then we can promote COM businesses and entrepreneurs. We obtain a record of all COM business owners if they choose to identify, because some people may want to just kind of keep their businesses private. We're not going to force it, but it's nice to have that record. You go on the AFOCOM USA website, you click. There is no reason why in this day and age we are still applying for AFOCOM USA scholarship using PDF forms. We should be able to go to a website and fill it out, and within minutes it's over. So we have a lot of change that is coming, and we think that we can have startup scholarships linking new arrivals. So like when our COM people move from Cameroon or from COM to here, and they're struggling to start a life. So how can we help them? How can we link them up to our COM entrepreneurs? How can they get started? There's a lot of opportunities in the IT world right now. And I think we have a lot of COM sons and daughters that are doing exceedingly well. We can see how we can promote each other. We can see what they can help us with and how we can also help them so that it is a win-win. And of course, we have discussed 5, 6, and 7. The 8th one is actually the celebration of the 50th anniversary, which we will have more details as we proceed. But if I get elected, we are going to be able to, I would think that FORCOM USA should be able to partner with our stakeholders and title holders in order to celebrate this 50th anniversary. And hopefully we can raise funds from that event to be able to construct a museum at the palace that will house that particular AFOCOM. And we know that I think it was brought to the United States. AFOCOM was brought to the United States I think it was, I don't know, I remember very well, but maybe around 1967. That was a piece of art that was carved by Feng Yu the First in 1865. And that is really something that we all know what it means to a COM person. And when it was brought to the United States against its will, it was finally returned in 1973. And so the year 2023 will make it 50 years. So when you go to the polls to vote who will be your next candidate, you want to be sure that that person can actually bring people together for this wonderful celebration. You want to be sure that that person can call people around the world. and bring those to the United States. You want to be sure that it's somebody that can collaborate with the palace very easily, because we are going to activate every person all over the world in order to make sure that this event has the dignity that it deserves. And we are going to approach the Art Museum in New York. I'm hoping that no, they will be willing to work with us, because that's where the AFOCOM was found before it returned to Cameroon. And we will be able to do great things together. But look forward for more details on this particular strategic goal. This one, to me, is not really a strategic goal. It is an action that falls under culture, which is, so technically we have 7 strategic goals. This one is an action, but it was just big enough. It was so big that our team decided to make it a separate pillar on its own. But again, there is a difference between a vision, a mission, and strategic goals. The vision of AFOCOM USA, based on my own experience, and I may be wrong, every organization has one vision, and we all align behind that vision. We don't have 10 visions. So everything we do has to be strategic goals that are geared towards achieving that vision, which is where we want to see our organization in the long term. Thank you so much for listening to me. We hope that you will consider voting Team PK. We have the experience. We've done most of what we've had here. As president of COM Chicago, I have done most of the things here with my leadership team here in COM Chicago, being a coordinator for Atlanta, being the one that actually, being one of the coordinators in Atlanta, trying to keep records as well, trying to do animations on the forum, being intimately involved with the project. I think I have learned a lot. And the story building that we're constructing at the palace right now is 5% away from being complete. And so this is an appropriate transition because we think that the construction of the museum, we can do that through fund grants and stuff like that. So that gives a little bit of less work for us on the forum for Balanto, and we can focus with AFOCOM USA and see how we can do other things and bring development for ourselves and for COM. So thank you so much. Make sure that you make a wise decision. Vote this particular agenda. Do not vote just because you like me or because you hate me. Vote based on what it has. Your vote should be a vote for COM development, not for an individual. So this is what we have to offer as Team PK. More details will be coming up, especially on some of the items that I couldn't elaborate more on. Thank you so much for watching, and I think we will stop here.